Hello, and welcome back to Minecraft. Today we are going over this tri-state button design I created that is linked inside this storage room. So in here you just have your general stuff like your cobblestone, your wood, your stairs, whatever you'd have normally. But as you can see here, we have this extra storage button. Anyone's going to go, okay, I'll press the button once. If you notice, this door opens, so we walk in. There's a pressure plate on the ground, run over the pressure plate. The door closes behind us, and we have our one storage room here. As you can see, it's filled with a bunch of empty chests because I was too lazy to fill them. But we walk over the pressure plate again, opens up for us, push the button again, the door closes behind us. Not too complex, but the thing is, this is a tri-state button. It has 3 states. Actually, technically, it could be considered 4, but it's got an on state, an off state, and a third state, which controls this secret door here. So we push the button once, push it again, and this door opens, and that door is closed. So we run over that closes up. We're in our secret room where we keep all our valuables. So in here we got some TNT, some glowstone, and some gunpowder, and a bunch of other valuable stuff in there too. And now we push the button to close it. Unfortunately, currently there's a little bit of a glitch where the two can get a little bit out of sync, so you have to push the button a second time after you're out of this side of it because it just gets out of sync. But there isn't too much I can do about that. So that's the basic look of it from the inside. This is the redstone required to make this work. So all this is required to make that simple little tri-state button there. I really couldn't make anything much simpler than this. And for your information, this stuff back here is not related. That was my test at a 3-input queue, which ultimately failed on me. But so this is what's required. These are obviously our 2 rooms right here and here. Those 2 are together. These are our little passageways, and here's the redstone required. So the door I won't really go over. It's an ABBA switch linked up to a Jeb style door, so there isn't too much done there. It's just a very simple door. But what I'm going to go over is how the tri-state button works. So this is the button input. Right here is where the button comes into. And when it comes into it, it goes 3 different ways. So we're going to start with the first way, which is just be the simple one button, one AABA or whatever that ABBA door over here, the left door over here, which is a simple one. So what happens is that as it goes through, right, it goes through this monostable circuit, which triggers this T flip-flop, which is using a lever and some redstone to go through. Use the T flip-flop, and then it goes to the ABBA circuit, which obviously fires that off, fires this off, and when it turns it off, fires this off, and then turns that off. So that's it. That's a simple ABBA T flip-flop circuit. There isn't too much there. And underneath we have a pressure plate right here above this piece of redstone. It follows that circuit up into the monostable circuit, which turns it off by triggering the T flip-flop again. So that's our simple ABBA door. Nothing too complex there. Just note that this is actually don't know why that's a for delay repeater there. It doesn't have to be, but just note that this goes through a repeater, then through here, so it doesn't interfere with the rest of the circuit, because we're doing a whole bunch of other stuff back here with AND gates that I'll get to in a little bit. So the next thing I want to go through is our tri-state detector. This is the basis of it right here. This is so it goes a separate way, so it takes the input from the button and sends it this way. What this is it's a simple pulse length detector. It's not very complex in that it doesn't check for an actual length. It just makes sure that the pulse is greater than 12 ticks. So that way, when you push the button a second time, it's guaranteed to open up the second door over on the right side here. And so that pulse length detector, which is basically 3 pistons and an AND gate, and 3 repeaters and an AND gate, excuse me, will just simply determine when the pulse is long enough, and it'll open up the door using this circuit here. So it's basically the same thing on this side. It's an ABBA circuit. Here's our monostable circuit to begin it. Here's our T flip-flop, and of course here's the output here. But it has to go a separate way. It has to take a second output because we have to get the output of this T flip-flop to determine the current state of the door and to determine if we should close it when the button's pushed. Because we don't want the button when it's pushed to open up the second door at the same time, right? We only want it to close when we do that, and because we're using a T flip-flop, we only can trigger it on the one edge. So this is what we do. We take the output here, We loop it all the way back here. We knot it, of course, to extend the signal and get it to the right format. And then we put it through an AND gate here, which is the third output from the button. So the third output of the button comes along, goes through a repeater, and then triggers this. So when the door is open, so if we were to open up the door real quick. So the door is open, right? And the T flip-flop is off, so this circuit's off, which turns off this part of the AND gate, right? So that part of the AND gate, it actually turns it on, but whatever, you understand it. Triggers the right side of the AND gate. So if we were to push the button again, what would happen is we get a signal going through this line, which would trigger the AND gate to turn off completely, which would then go back inside to our monostable circuit, which would trigger T flip-flop to close the door. That's about it. I mean, there isn't too much to it, but it's a cool design. It was interesting to build. I had a lot of issues with the AABA part of it and trying to build the piston doors, actually a lot more than I expected, simply because I had to have 3 resets for basically each. So I had to have the pressure plate reset and the button reset, as well as the... Actually, initially I was going to have a timed reset as well, but I scrapped that because it was just getting a little bit too complex at that point. But it was an interesting tri-state door design, or not really tri-state door, it's a tri-state button linked to 2 doors. Practical application of this could be for just like an SMP secret doorway, and of course if you push the button, both of them will close up at the same time. If this video gets like 5 likes or something, I'll probably create a tutorial on how to build this. I mean, it's not too complex, it's just a big structure outside, just to house the redstone so it doesn't intersect the lines. But other than that, guys, I'm Angry Beast, I'm signing out, and I will catch you guys in my next video.